Help support the companies that support our community. The tip I'm using is flat. They do make little cupped ones, and those work great too. They kind of wrap around the bead, but this one works nice, and I have it locked down into that cradle. After I got all the lines burned on it, I moved it back over to the carving stand to start coloring it. So you'll notice right off the bat, it's red, white, and blue. So we were gonna do this project last week for Memorial Day, and the pins didn't show up. I ordered them a month and a half ago. I really wanted to do the project, so we pushed it back a week. Yeah, I was kind of hoping to have this done last week, but I came up with the idea and I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work out, the layout and everything, so I wanted to do it just to make sure it all worked. It's coloring. It's kind of time consuming, but on something like this where it's a simple pattern, it only took me, I don't know, maybe 3 hours to do it. On some of the more intricate stuff like Braxton does, it's literally 3 or 4 days to get some of those patterns done. And you probably have seen, I'll put a link down below to Braxton's channel, and then some other great demonstrations from clubs where they do basket illusion stuff. So it's some neat stuff, but it is definitely time consuming. After I got it all colored in, I went ahead and put it back on the lathe to take the tenon off. So the reason that when I was turning it, I put the tenon on it, and then I brought down a bunch more of the bottom of the bowl. I just took a lot more material off, was because I wanted to make it more like a shallow bowl. I didn't want to go too deep because with the beading, I wasn't sure how it was going to look if it was a deep bowl. I just kind of wanted it shallow, so that's why the tenon on it is pretty big. So I just went ahead and parted that off and sawed it off, and then to clean up the bottom of it, which there isn't much to do. When I was parting it off, kind of cupped it out a little bit, and I just used the coal jaws. They snap right into the chuck the same way all the other jaws do, and it just holds it nice and tight, so you can clean up the bottom and sand it. So I did a little test too. I took the pins, colored them on some wood, and I put the walnut oil on them. And the ink on the pins, it doesn't run, but it did kind of wash out the white. That is why I just put it on the walnut oil on a paper towel, did the bottom, and then I just did the rim and the center of the bowl. I didn't want that white to wash off. It made it almost turned it back into the wood color, and that's why I didn't do that. But it was a fun project. I do want to stop for a second, and all the 5%s come with me. We're gonna take a look at a couple new things I did in the shop. So there's the bowl. It's 11.5 inches in diameter, about 3 inches tall. And on this one, I had these blue in the beginning, but I went ahead and did them all black all the way down, so it kind of looks like the flagpole, but really happy with how it came out. On the indexing wheel, I used all 48 on this one, and it's a piece of ash, and that's Robin and I's New Year's resolution, is to write down on the piece of wood where we got it, because neither one of us can remember. It was Oklahoma City or Dallas. Somebody gave it to us. Thank you very much. But it's a beautiful piece of ash. All right, I want to show you. See, I'm completely calm now because Robin's right here with me. Everybody say hi. Say hi, Robin.
Hi.
All right, so here is what I did. I've been working on this for a couple weeks now, and ever since I put the monitor arm up with the ace bandage, Robin has been picking on me nonstop that it looks so ugly and hideous. So anyway, I went ahead and redid everything. So this setup here, it's from a dust collector. The hose hook's right on the back there. This thing still comes out, and you can turn it wherever you want. And when I'm doing the carving, I can bring it down here and work on it. So it just slides along the little rail. But after I got it all done, and I was just going to use it for the dust collection, and the reason mine's up high, they do make some that go down low, and if you don't do a bunch of carving or on like with the carving stand, you really don't need one up this high. You could have one down low and it would work great, but I need it up there to do the carving. So after I got done, I realized, you know what? This would be a perfect setup for duplicating stuff too. So if you can put your fingers on there, and so if you're doing table leg or something, you bring this part down to the diameter, your little finger drops away. So it slides right over the pole. You can put as many of these on there as you want, depending on what you're doing. And so they just go on. Slide it on here real quick just to show you.
Away.
This thing pops right off. Finger goes on. Goes right back in the hole. And then that way you can, well, bring it right down here. And on the end there, I put a little Allen key in there to lock that in so it won't fall off. But you just turn and these will drop away. You can put 3 or 4 of them in there. The only thing I would do if you're going to make something like this, like a duplicator, I would somehow put a little stop in there so they don't slide down. But those are easy enough to do. The little things I used, you can figure something out, because these are actually off the old bandsaw. When I replaced the guides, that's where I got these off of. So it's not like you're going to have those laying around the shop, but you can find something that will work. And this right here is the monitor arm. So I kept that, hooked it up to the ceiling, and put a little tripod on it. And so this is for doing remote demonstrations and classes and things like that. Like a webcam goes right on it. Have a webcam up there, so I can move this around wherever I want, depending on what we're doing. And it gets right up close to it, so I reuse that. All right, I think that's it, right? All right, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one.